going, guys?
Cheers, everyone. Welcome to Mystic Journeys with HB, Derek, and Nerdy. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing good, doing good. Staying
Cool.
busy. Excited for the movie tonight.
Like it? What are we doing?
Harry and the Hendersons. Derek's recommendation. I found it, and I am ready to go. I love some
Awesome.
Sasquatch.
I thought it was a good fit
Um,
because we talked about the Sasquatch many episodes, and if he's out there, he's probably a mystic. So why
Oh
not?
yeah,
for sure,
I
sure.
no
Um,
doubt.
we'll get into a little bit at the end of the show. We'll kind of riff a little bit on cryptid stuff because I know people in the chat really like to talk about that kind of stuff. And so do I as well. So, yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that at the end of the show. Cheers, everyone in the chat. Mello, Cyber, who else? Tyler, what's up, everyone? Cheers. Thank you for being here.
So, um, sorry, I'm brain fart. I'm pulling up YouTube so I can start talking to people into my actual account here. Here we go. Pop out chat. There we go. Gotta have my separate windows. All right. So how's it going, Cyber Jolie, Tyler, Mello, Stream Digger? Good to see y'all, as well as
For
you
sure.
too, Leonardo and Raphael. Good to see you guys.
Thank you everyone for being here.
Today's Way Back Wednesday episode. Today's title is Feedback is the Breakfast of Champions. And there's a quote here from Ken Blanchard. It says, Feedback is the breakfast of champions. It's a little short reading. I'll read the prompt before I get today's story started. So you guys can go ahead and start answering in the chat and then listen along as I read. Today's prompt says, How good are you at receiving feedback? And if you're good at it, what are some of your tips? I think it's something we could all practice a little bit more on. No one's perfect at it, right? So
Yeah,
try to get a little bit better at it every single day.
I think I struggle with that too.
Yep. Let's do it. During an interview, someone once asked me, "What feedback have you repeatedly received in your previous roles?" And after thinking for a moment, I replied, "If I received feedback and did nothing with it, I'm not sure I would have lasted in my previous roles." When someone says I have some feedback, do you hear I hate you and everything you create, or I'm going to help you elevate this to your next level? Often we're so close to something we create that when we receive feedback, we act like the thing is part of us. The problem is the problem with this is that we spend a ton of unnecessary mental energy and stunt our own growth. The way feedback is given is extremely important, but the way you receive feedback is also crucial. Do you know that people who are good at receiving feedback are actually more likely to be promoted? This also applies to relationships. Let's say, for example, that someone is continuously late and you set a time to meet. You decide to tell him that it makes you feel unimportant when he arrives late. How he accepts his feedback may make a difference in how honest you will be with him in the future. If he gets defensive, you may choose to not bring it up again, which could potentially result in feeling resentful towards him. And if he accepts your feedback and acts on it by being more conscientious of time, you will feel better about the relationship and continue to let him know how you're feeling as things arise. And this creates a healthier relationship. Being good at receiving feedback can lead to healthier relationships, promotions, and elevated work experience. Regularly asking yourself for feedback allows you to be in the know and be the best version of yourself. Again, today's prompt says, How good are you at receiving feedback? And if you're good at it, what are some of your tips? Any of you guys want to go first?
What do you think, Derek? Are you good at receiving feedback?
Yeah, I always welcome it because I feel like it's an opportunity for me to do better and like how we look at ourselves and how we're doing to get that other person's perspective. Like, and I've been told I don't see it, but I've been told like I have a lot of patience, and that's like I said, that's something I don't see, but I've been told that, and you know, it's not it's not always negative feedback, but if you got to take the good with the bad too. So if you're open to receiving praise, you got to also be open to receiving criticisms, which would lead to, like, depending how you take it, some self-reflection and improvement. Or you can just go
Right.
shit and tell that they're wrong, and I'm perfect and everything else, and that's not growth, because you're just seeing through your own eyes and not how other people see you.
Definitely. It's what we were just talking about on the last episode about victim blaming versus accountability. 100%.
Right.
I like to think I've gotten pretty good at receiving feedback with practice. I didn't used to be. I went to art school, and man, did I take it personally when I didn't do well, or if someone was super critical of my work.
Mm-hmm. I've had this
But
experience before.
yeah, especially with art, that's a very, very personal thing.
Yeah,
You're
music
putting
or drawing or
art
yeah,
out there, right? You're really
yeah,
putting yourself out there.
personal. Right.
Mhm. But yeah, it comes down to, like the 4 agreements, not taking things personally. The more I practice, the better I get at it. But I still do take things personally sometimes. I still slip up. I won't lie. I do. But, you know, that's another opportunity for me to practice. How's it going, Mike Barball, Cyber Jolie, Sarah Bear, Magic David?
Obviously, it just depends how you receive the uh, feedback because, it says here, well, when someone says, I have feedback, do you hear in your head, I hate you and everything you create, or I'm going to help you and help you elevate this to the next level. And whenever I receive feedback, if it's done correctly, like if it's done politely, in a respectful way where people are really trying to help, I do look at it like the latter. I think that people are trying to, oh, wow, you're trying to like how you see what I'm trying to do here. And you're trying to level up my experience of what I'm trying to, my art, or it's a personal thing I'm trying to do, or just even a simple task that I'm trying to get accomplished. That really helps me. It's like you're just trying to help me get where I'm going. But obviously, there's a way to say it to somebody where it's respectful, and then they can, receive it properly. But it's also to the flip side of that, it's important to not create that in our head. To not create "I hate you" and everything you create when people didn't say that, because they're just trying to help us and they're just trying to elevate our experience. But yet we take it as, oh, they don't think this is good, so they're trying to make it what they want. Break all agreements on the way down. And I say, take it personally, make assumptions, and all these things.
I think David Cuss had a couple of good points here. He said, I always have to remind myself to not take things personally. If I do,
Exactly.
It makes my heart heavy. No need to carry that pressure.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And he also says,
It's their burden to carry. It's their
also,
life.
right. Also, a good thing to ask yourself when you start taking things personally might be, is it actually about me? So yeah, is it even about you? Right. Like someone cut you off in traffic, they might have been. I was reading something on Nextdoor the other day. This lady saying that she was apologizing for cutting someone off in traffic because she was just crying about losing somebody and her family, and just down the street, and she just started driving, and she didn't realize that she'd made a traffic violation. But then that person started chasing them through her neighborhood, and she was like, I didn't understand, but you chasing me through the neighborhood, it made it worse. I was afraid to go home. But it's just a big misunderstanding because one of them took it personally. Good old Nextdoor, if you guys are familiar with the website. Oh man, Denver's full of great stories. People
I think that's to your point. Yeah, that's to your point. This is why art has such a big impact for us, right? Whenever people criticize our art. But me, I've always attached that to ego. When I first started creating music, I figured, I could, whenever I was younger, I was 17, 18 years old, I started showing people, my friends, my music and stuff. I didn't really take the criticism perfectly, because what I heard in my head was your shit sucks, even though they weren't saying that. It's like what I was saying. I was creating that in my head. But
Mm.
whenever it's something personal like music, it's really easy to do that, right? But we have to we have to keep our ego in check and remember why we're doing that thing. If while you're creating music or painting art or whatever you're doing is so people can be satisfied, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You're supposed to be doing it for yourself. And then it doesn't matter what people think about your art. And even if it's a quote unquote criticism about what they think about your art, oh, it's really super simplistic. You're like, yeah, you know what? It is. And that's what I'm kind of aiming for here. So even though you don't like it, that's what I'm going for. Like, it's my vibe. It's my thing. It's for me. And even if you don't like it, this is what I talk about on the show very often. You should do things like everyone can see you, but do things as if no one would see the end result, because that way you're doing things morally correct. You're making sure you're practicing your agreements as if a camera's always watching you. That way you can't hide from anything. But you're creating your projects as if no one could see it, because only you matter. Only what you're getting out of it matters at the end of it all. It's hard for people to set aside their ego, really.
The part about people being late, that's one that's like a recurring thing in my life, is like friends being late. And I'm like, come on, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You knew we were supposed to be here at this time. I'm waiting here like an extra hour, waiting for you to show up. And I'm like, I got better things I could be doing with my time, but I wanted to be here with you. But
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I get this.
It's really quick for us to be wanting to be a judge and call people, oh, you're not being impeccable,
And
or on and
the
on
less,
and on. But we
the
don't
less
have
I
the
take
right to
it
do that.
personally, and I realize that people have other reasons why they might not show up on time. It's easier for me to get through those situations.
Have a little bit of.
What's that, D?
Have you tried that? Like I watched the video and they said, try saying thank you for waiting instead of sorry for being late. But I guess it's like my nature that I'm still gonna say I'm sorry for being late. But they said, oh, just try saying thank you for waiting. Like I don't know. I was just seeing if anybody's used that and if they've been successful with it. Because like if I was waiting an hour for someone and they didn't say, like, oh, I apologize for being late, but they walked in like, well, thank you for waiting. I think I might look at that a little differently,
Yeah,
But I've seen
yeah.
several videos of people saying stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna work. It might work for
Certain
some
level,
people. I don't know if it would work for me.
certain
So I was
level of
just wondering.
entitlement with that. Yeah.
I think
I
what
don't
you're
know if
talking about is the perfect storm of somebody not being impeccable with their word, leading somebody who takes things personally. It creates the perfect firestorm. Because if people actually said what they meant and meant what they said and really thought about their words and took a couple seconds to articulate what they were going to say before they said it, it'd be way more impactful. And I think if people didn't take so personally what people just throw out of their brain onto the paper, then they would be more understanding, a little bit more compassionate. It's really the worst combination is when somebody walks up who's unimpeccable, meets somebody who takes things personally, creates a firestorm. I've seen it happen several times.
Yeah.
Because that's how when I'm meaning in your example is that if somebody says, I'm sorry for being late, it's no big deal. Yeah, they didn't necessarily meant what they said. If they would have thought about it a little bit more clearly, they could have really explained what they meant. But then the person receiving the information, it's like whenever you tell your teacher, can I go to the bathroom? And they say, well, I don't know. Can you? It's like, it's not the way to like enlighten people. The way to enlighten people is to like not take it personally what they're saying and understand just what Nerdy was saying, try to have a little bit of understanding about the way they think and the way their brain works. And the reason why they're saying, can I go to the bathroom? It's just because of social programming, right?
Yeah.
But the proper way to be is, like, may I go to the bathroom? But the way to explain somebody to say, may I go to the bathroom isn't by being a snide. Because no one learns that way. Well, not no one, but
Like I'll have days like you guys were talking about, like your criticism of your art or your music and stuff. And I'll have days like I might like something, but that particular day something goes wrong and then everything sucks. Like this copy sucks and then this sucks and that's it's like it's just a cycle, and you just more and it could be yeah, exactly. I mean you could, put hit the playlist on your radio and that song that come on that you saved that you love. Well now this sucks and you go, skip it to the next song and then this traffic sucks and So yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
important to get out of that. But
Yep, that's holding the
yeah,
mirror up to your life, to yourself, everything around you. That's what we start to do. The negativity that we
but
have inside of ourselves, we start to see it in everything. So yeah,
it could only be a moment, though. You know what I mean? Like just whatever, a couple hours in the morning or something, and then maybe that person is looking at your music or your art or whatever, and then
yeah,
in that moment they don't like it because they don't like anything. So that's very important, not taking it personally, because they might have another chance to look at it later and say, "Doesn't suck. Maybe it's me that sucks."
definitely.
Don't,
And if
don't
it's a
suck,
really
Derek.
if it's for a business and it's for like a safety protocol, maybe we should take it personally because you're doing that thing for other people, for the safety of other people. So if somebody gives you a criticism about how your safety thing isn't up to code, maybe you should take it personally and try to get it up to code. But again, if it's for yourself, if it's really for you, it shouldn't matter what people say or think. It really shouldn't. And if it does bother you, you have a lot of like soul searching to do, like looking inside yourself to figure out why that makes you mad. And are you really doing this for egotistical purposes? Is it for money and attention or whatever, right? Pretty common ones. And we just it's a recurring theme here. Look, I would love to be the guy to stand over everyone like this and say I know better than everyone, but I just don't, and I don't think you guys do either.
I
Here,
don't.
nerdy here, and I don't think anybody else in the chat does here either. So it's like we're
That's
just doing our best to practice and get better every day with these little things. You have strengths that I don't. I have strengths that you guys don't. So we just try to mix and that's why I like the way that you kind of analogize it with the Ninja Turtles and the Marvels. It's like building a super team here, like a superhero team rather. Like
good
people
balance.
who this guy's a hothead, but when we need him to be in this area this time, he's there and he does what he's supposed to do. And this guy right here, way more soft, kind, and compassionate, and that's what we need these people in these areas. It blends up everybody and puts them exactly where they need to be. Creates a super team, if you will.
This
Dream
guy's the
team.
comic relief with cool nunchucks.
And that's exactly right. You need those people. And you need like if we were all those people, it would be really bland. But if we didn't have those people, we'd be really missing out on some colors alike, for sure. All right, so let's do a little bit of a segue here. We'll go ahead and do nerdy guess that mushroom here in just a second. I'm going to pull this mushroom off. It's probably again one if you guys were here last time, there's several states that have actual official state mushrooms. So I've been kind of running through the list here. And today we are going to do California. Do you know this one off the top of your head, nerdy, by chance?
Maybe Cantharellus. What's it? Cibola something. I don't. I can't think of the species.
Is that in the chanterelle family?
It's the golden chanterelle.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly right. It's called the California golden chanterelle. It's really kind of a beefy mushroom for a chanterelle. And they do look really beautiful in yellow. Here's a nice underside picture of the gills. Pretty cool. But yeah, it looks like here it's growing on probably a log that has some moss on it. Do you know what they grow on mostly?
They are mycorrhizal with trees. I'm not sure specifically which ones. I have found them a couple times, but I believe that I found the rainbow chanterelle instead. I don't think that the golden chanterelle is as common in Colorado, but I think they both grow here.
Okay.
I need to look deeper into it.
Well, let's do it right now. Let's go a little deep into it.
Amazing gourmet mushroom.
Cool. It says here that it was officially adopted in 2024, so it's kind of a new thing. These mushrooms are starting to be adopted as state mushrooms. It's kind of crazy it's been this long, but this native fungus is highly prized by foragers as it's known for being massive, meaty mushroom that lives in a symbiotic relationship with live oak trees, to answer your question. If you'd like to learn more about it, here it is. Provide details on its distinctive appearance and size. So it's just giving us a couple options here. When and where to forage. Let me click on the Wikipedia, pull up some more stuff here. And maybe while I'm doing all this, you can think of a question for people. Let me try to give away something to people in the chat.
Let's see. So Cantharellus cibarius. The cibar part is like gold, cibola.
Mhm. Or
But
Californius is what I'm getting. Yeah.
But I did find some
Oh, the one you're referring to. Okay.
some chanterelles on a foray with Alan, a UV foray at that matter. A friend of mine found some chanterelles in a juniper bush with Alan Rockefeller foray in the middle of the night. It was a good times. My friend didn't want him. He was like, I don't know. I don't like eating wild mushrooms. I'm like, dude, give them to me, Alan. And I put them in my eggs, and the next morning it was fantastic. Yeah, it was so
Sweet.
good. Yeah,
We did a little bit of UV foraging whenever we went out this weekend. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, we tried. I need to get a better UV light for sure. There was somebody that was there. There was a couple people that were there on that UV
and some
trip
really nice ones
that were on that same UV trip where I found those chanterelles. They actually bought their flashlights from Alvin that day. But yeah, they had the good ones. I was kind of jealous. I was like, oh, I want a good flashlight. That really makes things.
But that's why we go out and do it as a group and learn. Because if you're doing it by yourself, it takes you forever to learn this. You can just learn it overnight. That's what science spreads the fastest when you're sharing.
That was not at NAMA. I have not been to a NAMA foray. It was a foray with the Pikes Peak Mycological Society specifically. We went up to Winter Park, I think. We just went up to one of those we just went up to a dirt road up in the National Forests, and we all parked along the side of the road, and we all just went walking off to the side of the road, and we looking for stuff. It's that simple. That's all you got to do. But with Alan Rockefeller and some other people that know the area, you can really find the cool mushrooms.
The cool thing is, like you were mentioning to me, even if you live in an urban area, in a neighborhood or whatever, there are people that do urban mushroom hunting. So it's definitely a thing. It's very possible.
I do it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Who's the gentleman you're referring to that I'm talking about, though, that you said is like specifically an urban mushroom hunter?
That would be James Weiser, probably. He's actually fairly close to me. He doesn't mind if it's like in a city park or something like that. He'll eat it and fry it up.
Pretty cool.
I've eaten mushrooms with him.
I wouldn't recommend, but at least just like foraging to get out and recognize the mushrooms, it's pretty cool.
There's some tips and tricks for trying to make sure that you're not in a polluted area or some place that's been sprayed with pesticides. Look for those little flags, those little flags with the little plastic flaggy on it, and stuff like that, and make sure you're just staying away from areas that would seem like it's kind of polluted, like around porta potties and stuff. But for the most part, it's fairly safe. Wash your mushrooms. Just wash your mushrooms. It's not that dangerous to eat mushrooms from the city park. I personally don't think so.
Yeah, it's a rule of thumb for me. I stay away from cities and parks and anything near roads, power lines. Unless it's in the middle of the woods or middle of an open field, I try not to mess with it. Just out of safety precautions.
Sure.
I know there's some places they'll use a compost tea, instead of different fertilizers and stuff like that on the properties. So I mean that would be helpful to know too. Like if they have any kind of information like that, a green initiative or something, and that would be easy to look up if you were foraging in that area.
Yeah. Do you have a recipe for one, Derek?
Do I have what?
Do you have a recipe for one that you use?
No. I was saying there's a lot of places that use it.
I get your point. I was just wondering. I was kind of sidetracked. I was just wondering if you had one that you used. If you've ever used one before. I've never done it.
No.
Something I've always wanted to practice, though. Yeah.
I've used the pool water, my pool water, because I had one of these salt things, like it was saltwater pool. And then I didn't use the pool, so I didn't clean it, and it got all funky and everything. And I used that in the garden, and that seemed to have some beneficial stuff in there. The plants thrive from it.
Cool, dude. Neat.
Yeah.
Utilizing what you got, baby. That's what I like. That's cool.
That's pretty
Like
clever.
a lot better than the chlorinated water from the garden hose, you know.
Yeah.
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 I've farmed crickets and worms and stuff like that. With our worms, we used to, because I live right next to a pond, we go fishing and stuff. So our worms, we would make compost out of it pretty often, mix it in with old rotten
Yeah.
vegetation from your kitchen, scraps of food and stuff, anything that's not greasy or starchy, really.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys, in the chat. You got a question for everybody, Nerdy?
Let's do a game so I can do a giveaway box. I will ship it tomorrow. And oh man, and I want you guys to use Google because this is a hard one. This is a cryptid question. I need to know the name of a cryptid that's from Colorado. It's a Colorado cryptid. It's imagine a whale that has like a hook for a tail, and it like hooks up on top of a mountain, right? And in the winter, if it sees tourists, walking around the trails below, it'll release the hook and it slides down the mountain and swallows up the tourists and anything else beneath it. It has a specific name, and I want to know what the name of this cryptid is. There's actually places in Colorado where they have signs warning you of this cryptid, that it could be in the area. But it's like a giant fish that like it's so big. Oh, and when it comes down, the momentum of it coming down the first hill, it goes back up the second hill and it clips back onto the next mountain ridge. Important detail, of course. Yeah, they're big.
What they're gonna win?
What's that?
You want to show people what they're gonna win?
Oh, some sacramental supplements and some stickers. I don't have it right here. I need to make some capsules, but I will be shipping it tomorrow. And got some stuff from HB, some stickers, and some candy. You know how HB likes his ginger candy.
I started putting ginger in my microdoses now for everyone. See how that works.
And I'll pull stuff from. Look, I got some candy and stuff from some of the previous shows that I did, where I was, I guess, that I was making the different candies a day. Some gum. It'll be a fun little gift box. But it'll have some capsules in it. Almost, Shrimp Digger. Almost. The first part's right.
Cheers. See, we got a bunch of people going to like.
I made some
live chat.
Ginger chews before, and they made me sweat. Like I sweat like crazy. Like that was it. I did not blast off or anything like that. It was just I ate them and I sat there and I sweat.
Too much ginger isn't really a good thing. It can flush you out. A lot of people don't know ginger is actually has a capsaicin level on the Scoville level. There's has a little bit of spice to it.
Right. So you got to put it all together, Shroom Digger. Put it all together.
Yeah, too much ginger can definitely cause a lot of heartburn, skin flushing, stuff like that. It's great for nausea in small amounts, but you think about a gram or two, it starts to be a little bit of a problem for some people with sensitive stomachs and stuff.
That would be me.
Yeah, ginger is strong. Only takes a little bit for sure. The microdoses, I don't think you have any yet, Nerdy, but the ones that I have to give you are 350 milligrams of ginger per cap, 150 milligrams psilocybin, 350 ginger. So 2 of them is technically a dose. More than likely, 1 or 2 more than that probably won't hurt.
So it's 3 words, and I need to see all 3 of them put together for you to win. You've almost got it.
Get yours off the spicy for me for sure.
And as soon as someone gets it, I'm going to show you guys all what it looks like because it's just some funny, goofy pictures. I love it. Cryptids are fun.
Yeah, as with everything, for sure. Ginger can definitely be toxic. It's something that you can use every day safely, but it's not too great to use a large amounts of it every single day.
All right, Mike Barabal for the win. Slide
Cheers, buddy.
rocket bolter.
Congratulations.
So let me pull up what it looks like. Let's see if I can do it right here on the fly. Share screen. Slide rock bolter.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, congrats, Mike Barabal. Good job, buddy. Slide rock bolter. Pull up the picture. So you can see it hanging on the top of the mountain there. It's ready to come down. So it's going to take out that town. It's dangerous. Can you guys see this all right? Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, I was on the wrong page here. There's this one. Just play part of this a little bit. Oh, all these ads.
No, be safe, Derek. Derek's an OG. He can handle it. He was taking mushrooms before you was born, boy.
I'll share this tab. An illustration. There's a tourist with a cannon down there.
Mm-hmm.
Tourist didn't know it was coming. Just on top of the mountain.
This is interesting. I've maybe heard of this before. I just kind of wiped it from my memory.
Looks like it's just more of the same. Let's see.
Super unique. What culture does this come from? Is it like a modern day thing, or is it?
It's a Colorado specific thing.
Well, right, but
it's a way to scare tourists.
Yeah.
I like that one. That was awesome.
This is the whole discrepancy against Bishop's Castle that people were kind of hating on a little bit, because even his father was claiming, it's like, we got up here to get out of the mountains, get away from people, but yeah, you built this place for people to come be a tourist and come visit. So I thought that was kind of a unique point of view, right?
You win, Mike Barabal. Yes, you got it. Congratulations, buddy. Bolt Rock Slider. Or
what the hell is that?
slide rock bolter. Slide rock bolter. That's the one. Man, my words are not coming out in the right order. Let me write that down. I'm going to send you something fun tomorrow, Mike Barabal.
Yeah, that's always so funny to me, though. It's people, like, no disrespect to that gentleman's father, but it's like everybody here stole this land, dude. None of this land is ours. Yeah. So how arrogant of us to move on top of a mountain where we think we can keep our peace and prevent other people from coming in. It's just so archetypal,
Mm-hmm. We should maybe do some more fun, stupid cryptids and stuff. Like,
fuck it, we got about 20 more minutes or so on the show. Let's run it if you want.
Well, maybe next week we'll do a guess.
Oh, you mean for guessing and stuff?
We'll talk
okay.
we'll talk about this guy that's on my shelf right here. He's another cryptid that a lot of people don't know about. But we'll have some people guess and figure out who he is.
Congratulations. If anybody else needs anything, reach out, missionchurch.org. Instagram, Discord. Those are good places to reach us. Facebook. We have an X account. Reach out if you need something. Do the best to see if we can help you out.
Exactly. So, Mike Barabal, we're going to be watching Harry and the Hendersons after the movie. You should definitely join us, buddy. Anybody that wants to join us for Harry and the Hendersons, please join us in Discord. It's going to be good times. Also, I did finish the purchase link for the Rocky Mountain Mush Fest shirts. So I'm going to go ahead and share that in chat. If you want the shirts shipped, I did add a $10 shipping, and it's like flat $10 per order. If anybody wants shirts, I will ship them after the event.
Yeah, our Facebook is the same as all the rest of our social medias. It's just Mystic Journeys Church. Just go to Facebook and search Mystic Journeys Church, and it'll pop right up.
Taking a moment. There we go. And here's the where you can get the shirts. If you want it shipped, you can just pay $10 for the shipping. I also, on that same page, there's another shirt that you'll recognize. It's not Rocky Mountain Mush Fest. It's my upcoming camping foray that's coming on June 26th to 28th. So it's next weekend, not this weekend, but next. I'm going to my happy place, Lost Creek Wilderness, where I always find amazing mushrooms. Limited to 15 people. I've already had several people sign up. It's a pay what you can situation, but the shirt, I'm proud of the shirt. It's a funny one, and I illustrated it myself. I used a picture that I took as reference, and I illustrated it myself. But
cool.
The shirts are fun. Please check them out. I'm going to have a RSVP for the Rocky Mountain Mush Fest, just so I know how many people are coming. That's coming eventually, but I'll get to it very, very, very soon. It took like a whole day for me to get that shopping site for the t-shirts up.
Tell us what's up, Mike. Let us know, man.
Oh, really?
Whatever you want, buddy.
Yeah, whatever you need. Let us know. If you know of anybody you think would like to have it, or if anybody else here would like to volunteer, let Mike Barball know.
You're pretty good right now. We appreciate you being
happen. Yeah.
Appreciate you being impeccable, man. That's good. Honest.
Yeah,
We like that.
That's solid. Good form.
Because if you need anything, we'll get you.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate your kindness. Yeah, if anybody needs something, Mike's willing to give it out. Unless you have somebody, Mike, you want to pass it to, whatever, just let us know. That's cool, dude.
Where'd Derek go? Hope he's okay.
Genghis Khan ruled the world one time. Now most people know nothing about him. So right. It's amazing that we think we're gonna leave a legacy behind, and we're like little puny minnows in the sea. It's like why we have to let go of our egos, because when we're gone, we're nothing. All we have is how we treated people, what we did, what we said about them, and things like that. We mentioned that on this show several times before, because now that we've changed our format, we've gotten a lot of trolls in the chat. And to me, I love our people who show up here every day and try and put in the effort. That's really good. I like that. But to them, it's like it's easy. Like they just have to show up and practice. But for a troll to show up and like cause drama in the chat and stuff, it's like you have to go out of your way to be negative. It just shows really that's ultimate love. It's like even though you think you hate us, it's like you came here to show your attention, even whenever you didn't practice or care really. I talked about that. I like that with Riffin, because Riffin has a really small group of people. It's like if you show up to Riffin, you really want to be interested in what people are saying and the message that people are trying to do, not just the things people are trying to give, right? Mm-hmm. So I like that.
It's kind of the same concept. I halfway expect you to come back with a bucket of popcorn, Derek.
Huh?
I halfway expect you to come back with a bucket of popcorn.
Oh,
he said not yet. That's for later.
Yeah, that's later. But yeah,
if you start it now, it'll be cold by the time the movie starts.
Yeah, I'll have it for the movie, right?
Yeah, right. But yeah, so if you want to message us on the side, if you can't decide tonight, Mike, that's fine. Just let us know, and we'll just. But yeah, Rocky Mountain Mush Fest is July 16th through 19th. T-shirt link is here, and HB also shared the Discord link, so we can watch Harry and the Hendersons tonight. Hope you all can join us. Mellow's like she's got a Jesus like comment, so she's gonna hold it. Hey, we're in church. You can message me on Instagram, or you can message any of us on Discord. Discord is honestly the best way to get a hold of me personally.
Me as well.
I'm always have it up in my browser, so I'm constantly checking it. Unless I'm really, really busy, then I'll get to it like after I'm done working. But give me a good 24 hours if I'm really, really busy. Or any of us, I'm sure.
Yeah, speaking of feedback to up the game, Zeta, I got a little bit of feedback on a couple things from Zeta. Some people, again, the spice level for the jalapeno was a little too hot for them. But the way I see it is like if you're going to get a jalapeno drink, you're going to want it spicy. So I think that really is fine. But a gentleman did enlighten me that maybe I could filter out the chitin a little bit better. So we're going to try out a couple different methods. So we can get people to have a little less stomach, because people who are sensitive to mushrooms, they're still having, even though the material is being strained out of the Zeta, they're still getting stomach nausea with the drink. So we're going to try to filter out the chitin down to the molecule and see if we can make it a really stomachable drink for people who can't even stomach mushrooms normally. And they'll kind of, yeah, it'll open up the market to be able to, have a drink for people who are like, I love mushrooms, but they hurt my stomach every time I try to drink it. Well, drink this. And, so it's like taking that feedback, that criticism, be like, you know what, I can make this a little bit better. But yeah, I think that's a perfect example of that,
Yeah.
Trying to
every
take
body's different. One person handles it just fine.
Exactly.
Like, whatever, it's chitin, sure. My body's used
and like
to
I
it.
told you, I could be just like everyone else and be like, you know what, it's fine. Who cares? Like one person's going to drink it and their stomach's going to hurt. Who gives a shit? But to me, it makes a shit. Like I care about that one extra person. I might as well just try to make it better for everyone that's possible if we can. So yeah, it's always just trying to make shit a little bit better. Same thing we do here behind the scenes on Mystics, trying to work shit out, make it a little bit better. You guys recently, I just mentioned we changed the format. Still out a couple more new faces to show up and find us and, build our groups. So it's just little things like that, trying to tweak it and make it better day by day.
What about, I don't know what you're using, but maybe like bubble hash bags? Because those have really, really good filtration. You know what I mean?
I've been straining it with cheesecloth, but it's probably going to have to be something way finer. See, this is why, and the gentleman who enlightened me on this is a very smart guy. But yeah, when you think about it, you're like, okay, I strained the mushroom material out, so I strained the thing that will make your stomach hurt. But the chitin is very small. It breaks down into basically like fibrous molecules, and those things still enter into your stomach and cause nausea. So it's going to have to be a way finer mesh straining than whatever I'm using, which means it's going to take a lot longer to strain. So yeah, we're going to have to experiment, bring it back to the drawing board and see what we can do. I've had an offer to put them here in stores, so we're going to make sure we get it right before we start just giving it to people,
We've already got a really, really good idea on how we can do this right. We just got to get HB the right equipment. It's under $100 for the right equipment. The stuff that I've been using to filter my own stuff should be good enough. It's called a winterization kit. It's a vacuum filter through a Buchner funnel into an Erlenmeyer flask. It filters it through a piece of paper. it doesn't get much finer than that. And the person who was struggling with it, he also thought it was a really, really good idea. He's really knowledgeable in this sort of thing. And he's like, yeah, I think that would probably do the job.
Someone who's actually very sensitive to mushrooms in general anyway. But yeah, this is a bottle of Zeta that I've had sitting on my counter for, at this point, over 2 months, and still shelf stable as the day that I process the bottles. So when I make Zeta, I keep it in the fridge, but this is just an ongoing experiment to see how shelf stable they can be. My prediction is 6 months plus, but right now we're going 2 months plus and it's still shelf stable. So it's really nice, really neat.
The acidity of these drinks are really what's keeping it shelf stable.
The sugar levels, yes, sir. And then also, obviously, the important part is the sterilization and pasteurization along the way. You have to make sure that you're being sterile and clean, and also the final stage of pasteurization at the end, you want to make sure it's at the right temperature for the right amount of time. Make sure everything's proper and professional, dude. This is what separates me from other people who make mushroom drinks is that it's done right. It's done professional.
Like any tea, if you open it and it's fizzy, you know something went wrong.
Little bit of no smell.
That's right.
Well,
Bubble
yeah, the
drink,
big thing now I need to. Sorry, Derek. Say it one more time, buddy. I cut you off.
I said bubble and drink, bubble and guts, right?
I like it. I've so this weekend I think I drank 3 in a row. So yeah, that's about the most I've done so far. I like them though. The only thing we need to really know now is we need to try to figure out dosages. If people want it stronger, people want it weaker, people want maybe a weak, a strong, medium version, whatever. Right. So I just need to know if it's the right strength for people. Um, it's one of the things I don't want people to drink Azeta and question if they're feeling the effects of it, right? But I also don't want them to drink it and be like floating around on the moon after one drink. So the whole idea is supposed to be a casual dosing. You drink one, 30 minutes to an hour later, you drink another, and you kind of slowly ride up that roller coaster instead of just blasting yourself up. It's a new way to dose. Yeah, it's a new way to trip. A better way, in my opinion, 100%.
Sounds like a marketing statement.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know if you guys have ever had absinthe, but I mean that was when the people drank for similar effects. The kind of it's supposed to have a little bit of trippiness from the wormwood or whatever that it was made with, and
yes, sir.
It wasn't. We were getting the legitimate stuff here, but that stuff did not taste good. I bought it before and drank enough of it that it was the alcohol effect and not necessarily a trippy effect. But I mean, there is some people that enjoy that, and that stuff there. I mean, like you're supposed to use a special spoon and then sugar cubes and then pour it over the sugar cubes. So it's a process. Where Zeta just takes all that mess out of the equation, so I think that's a win-win, right? You don't have.
Are you saying absinthe is not good?
Absinthe, yeah, absinthe.
Not
green
good.
Berry, the green berry.
Yeah, it tastes like one of the best flavors. It's black licorice. It's amazing.
Sometimes it's an acquired taste for a lot of people. Like I like the Good and Plenty's, and those are kind of like that taste, But other times or Zambuca, like it's something you have to be in the mood for, Where you have to. You're not going to pair that with, a lot of different things. With the Zeta, I think it's going to go with a burger. It's going to go with a steak or with pasta.
I'd rather eat some black jelly beans.
Everything.
Yeah, man. Especially if you start adding more flavors, because the blue Pharaohs, it's kind of a really herbal flavor, but it's really nice. I haven't had anyone say that they didn't like it. I've had people say that they like the jalapeno lemonade more, but even in that aspect, the blue Pharaohs might not be your flavor, but it's still good. And if it's not your flavor, there's other flavors that you'll love. The biggest compliment that I've gotten for Zeta so far is, this is perfect. It's like, yeah, I know, because I've tried everything. I tried a little bit more sugar and it was too sweet. I tried a little bit less and it wasn't enough. And I tried a little bit more lemon and it was too much lemon. So I went back down, and I had every variation that you can think of, different kinds of citrus and shit like that. I've tried it all, because that's the quality that we put into this thing. Anybody can just make a lemonade and with jalapenos and put it out with mushrooms in it, but that's not really what I'm about. It's about quality, organic, natural ingredients, things like that.
And you're doing all this.
I appreciate that. You get it. Yeah.
Go ahead.
You're doing all this taste testing with it undosed, right? And then adding the supplements.
Exactly right. It's beautiful you say that. So the last thing that I do is add the mushrooms in. The mushrooms come last, because I know once ever I have the right amount of citrus inside this, that I can pull the psilocybin out of it, then I'm not even really worried about it at that point. But yeah, the flavor has to be, that's what I always explain to people, that the quality starts first. I want to make sure that no matter what the flavor is, you're going to get a good product that's going to be safe to drink at the end of this. Then the flavor comes next. Like, what are we going to make this flavor? How are we going to perfect it? And then we add in the psychedelic part. But because that's really the easiest part to it. That's what I'm trying to express, is that anybody can just make a mushroom tea, put it on the market and sell it to you. But are they really doing the best they can? Are they practicing the agreements whenever they make this shit? That's what separates Zeta from everybody else. Yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes, man. Only more flavors from here. If you guys like the flavors, we'll keep them around. If you don't like them as much, we'll swap them out for something new. Really excited about January. David gave me a great idea about using this stuff called purple honey from North Carolina. So I have this Zeta flavor I'm working on called purple rainberry. It's going to have huckleberry, blue butterfly pea flower, and this purple honey from North Carolina. So I'm excited about that flavor.
I've
But I
seen
have
it
flavors
online
all the way
too.
to March.
So I
Okay.
think you'll be able to source it, and that'll
Yep.
be really cool. It'll make your drink, like totally unique.
Different, yeah. Because so far I've been using agave as my sweetener, and I'll probably use that for most of them. But this right here will make it definitely super unique using the honey alone.
Mhm.
Yep,
Yeah.
we'll see, man. Tons of flavors. The next couple months, like I mentioned, there'll be a lemon green tea, an orange black tea. Those will be some tea flavors. Get in there for everyone, caffeinated. So far, none of them have caffeine. Okay, actually, I take that back. The first one does have caffeine because it has some green tea in it, but it has low caffeine compared to just like a green tea drink. Um,
Like
I
obviously
think
the Cottage Food Act doesn't cover this sort of thing.
caffeine is cool though, because then you'll be able to stay awake and enjoy it. Like sometimes you
Definitely.
take some sacrament, then you get the yawns, and then you're trying to stay awake and
Yeah,
fighting
Derek.
it.
Yeah,
So
you
that
get it, man. And the cool thing about tea that a lot of people don't know as far as the caffeine is concerned, when you drink coffee, it kind of gives some people who aren't used to it like shaky effects and their stomach will be kind of hurting. Well, tea has a chemical in it that slows down the absorption of the caffeine. So it gives you a way more mold over effect. So it will definitely increase caffeine levels without giving you a paranoid because you're on mushrooms. You definitely don't want to be jittering like you're having caffeine. So a lot more mellow of an effect. And the green tea will have less caffeine than the black tea, the orange black tea.
yeah.
We're watching Harry and the Hendersons tonight on Discord. For those of you guys that are interested, specifically you, Sanam. I see you're talking about watching PBS, a rerun called Secrets of the Forest. Why not watch Harry and the Hendersons? Hang out
We
with
usually start about 30 minutes after the hour.
yeah. Usually, that's the goal.
Right. So anybody got any mycology questions while we're already here? Ask away. I feel like I had a couple, but oh yes. I was going to ask you about the agar recipe. You sent me that PDF. Something that I want to start getting into, messing around with that. I've already kind of, some of the samples that you gave me. I've been practicing putting transfers from other agars into and things like that. So I'm just kind of getting my feet wet. Something I thought I'd bring up on the show. If you have any knowledge or insights about it.
Well, maybe
Oh, yep. I have another question too after that.
they have actually that PDF printed out right here.
Cool.
So if anybody wants this, I'll just send it to you. So it'd be a really nice resource. This is directly from, most of this is directly from the Radical Mycology book, but there's a section on the back. I outlined it in a square. This part's from me. It's my personal notes about how to make your own custom agar recipes. But this is the media cookbook from the Radical Mycology book, and it has like 50 different agar recipes that you can use. Some use dog food, some are for cordyceps, some are specifically for spore germination, some use V8 juice.
Neat, dude.
There's so many crazy. Some use mealworms, probably for cordyceps. But there's a lot of recipes in here. But if anybody wants this PDF, just ask me, reach out to me, and I'll send you the PDF. I'm especially proud of this back page explaining about the nutritional needs of mushrooms: carbs, protein, B vitamins, minerals, and then my basic recipe is 200 milliliters, but most recipes are 500 milliliters. So here's the conversion. And
right. Love
you
it.
can use any
First
grain you
batch.
want, any carbs you want. So you can use honey, you can use corn syrup, you could use rice syrup, you could use whatever you want.
What do you use?
Syrup. I like to use rice syrup.
Okay, cool.
But I should probably be using sorghum syrup because I like to grow on Milo / sorghum.
We don't have any agar videos.
I don't think we do, but I did record a pouring video but I could do a more in-depth one. I just need to focus on it.
Mhm.
I've got so much going on all the time. I just need to focus on
Yeah, right on.
I remember
making it
watching
look.
some of Michael Allen's. He had some good
Yeah,
agar videos. I don't know if
yeah.
his YouTube is still active, but if they are, and you're following him, check those out because he was pretty spot on and his work was good.
No, the pineapple Zeta did not get axed. It's just released next year because it's a tropical summer flavor. One second, I'll pull up the logo for it here. The Moonburst Mango. It's a mango pineapple lime ginger drink. That's for into next year, so another great flavor. But yeah, I have another question. David actually, David asked this about regarding your shoestring budget. Growing a shoebox on a shoestring budget. I have your paper somewhere, but I wasn't able to find it to give them a picture about it.
I've got it here too. If anybody wants that PDF, I've got that too.
Yeah, and that's when we need
Let
to
me
get
see.
to Magic David. But just give a quick run through of some basic stuff that people need just to
So
get started.
it's a simple
Only like a 20 or
checklist
30 row list.
where it tells you about where to go: Dollar Tree, Walmart, Home Depot, International Market for your agar. Light. If you're like on a budget, you don't need to go buy any fancy lights. You don't need to go buying any flow hoods, anything like that. Just get a Sterilite box for your
Cool.
still air box, and then work inside there for a clean environment. You don't have to even
What
custom. You
size?
don't have to, like Derek knows. You don't have to modify your box either. You can just pull it off the side of your counter a little bit and put your hands underneath it. It's just as good as having two holes.
Oh, that's a
But
trick.
yeah,
I didn't know.
you can buy most of your stuff at Dollar Tree. You can get like the shoe boxes that I grow in. They're, let's see, they're like these but bigger. They're like twice the size, but you can grow in these small ones too. You can grow in any size container. I like to get the dark blue ones for the bottom, or sometimes I use blue for the top because mushrooms do like blue light. But you can also get mason jars with lids at the Dollar Tree, and you can just invert the lid instead of like bags. Just use mason jars and invert the lid so it can breathe. But yeah, I've taught several classes on this, so that's why I've got it readily available here. Trash can liners. The cheaper, the better. You get cheap trash can liners from Dollar Tree. You want really, really thin plastic so that it shrinks with your cake. The whole point of the liner is to prevent air from getting to the sides, and you get a bunch of mushrooms growing on the side and bottom. You want everything growing on the top. So that liner that's super duper cheap and black can prevent light from getting the sides, and most importantly, air. Air is the number one factor that gets pinning to initiate. Aluminum foil. You can get micropore tape or paper athletic tape, sanitary gloves, sanitary masks, cutting knife. That's just stuff from Dollar Tree. You can get it all from Dollar Tree. $1.25 a piece. It's no big deal. From Walmart, I like to get my disposable lighter or my butane torch from there. I also get my butane refills for heat sterilizing my tools. That's also where I got my large Sterilite tub for my still air boxes, Walmart. I get my cocoa coir from just about any garden center. You can go to Home Depot, Lowe's, or any local garden center. Just rehydrate some cocoa coir. It's not expensive. I don't add gypsum or vermiculite. I do it as cheap as possible. Just cocoa coir. Less ingredients means less money. I'm not aiming to grow the biggest, best mushrooms. I just want to grow some mushrooms, and they grow. I'm not trying to overcomplicate things. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. You start with the basics, and then you can build on that from there with your own setup, make it work for you, and you'll start getting better mushrooms than what you started with this method. But yeah, and if you don't have a pressure cooker, you can just use tandalization or fractional sterilization. That's a little explanation here on the bottom. Tandalization, fractional sterilization. So you can just use this on your stovetop without a pressure cooker, just in a regular pot with a lid. And the only problem is it takes 3 days to sterilize, but it works. Just heat your pots like 3 times, 60 minutes each time. Done. But just reach out. I've got resources. If you just ask questions, and I'll happily send you stuff.
It's so funny because I feel like Uncle Ben's. I feel about the way that Uncle Ben's how you used to feel to me because I'm like, oh, I love Uncle Ben's. I love Uncle Ben's, and you're like, yeah, Uncle Ben's is fine, but when you start to really up your game, you realize that doing the sterilized bags are so much better. Your results are way better. Um, so I do love Uncle Ben's. It's really great. It's how I got started growing mushrooms. It's how I grow mushrooms for a long time. I still even grow mushrooms like that now, to be honest. But I've started to switch over to just using grain bags alone. And for like you said, a lot of the reason you have to be careful on what you grow on because some people have sensitivities to the types of grain that you grow on. So it's another reason why I stepped away from using brown rice in particular. But it's great. It's a great way for people to the cheap way for people to get into mycology. But if you think about it, if you're inoculating 10 bags, let's say, and you're paying about $15 for those 10 bags at the grocery store, because it's a little over $1 a bag, and you get half of those bags to actually colonize and the other half of them contam, is it really saving money, as opposed to just buying a couple bags of grain and then going from grain to grain transfer? I always question myself for that. And I find out for my personal results, it's not worth it monetarily. It's just worth it to buy grain bags.
I've done grain to grain. I've done grain to grain transfers with Uncle Ben's, and I've never had that high of a scam rate. But it is a fun way to get started and check out the hobby, see if it's for you.
Start practicing.
Yeah.
One syringe will knock 10 bags. So there you go. I mean, you can't really get any cheaper than that. And then see if the hobby's for you, and then if it's not. But I mean, you can totally understand that. You can cut open that Ben's bag when it's fully colonized, and then put it in a tub with encase it. So there's a lot of different options there, but it just takes out a lot of that sterile work that people don't have the other equipment for.
Correct. Broke boy tech is what they call it. I love it, dude. It's the thing that gets people into mycology. I love it.
Mello asked a good question. She said, that sounds safer but long, 3 days. How about a slow cooker? Slow cooker, I don't think it gets up to high enough temperatures. Does it get to a boiling temperature? A slow cooker? Because boiling, it basically is the max temperature it can get if you don't have under pressure. But if you have a instant pot, that's my next recommendation. If you don't want to do the regular pot, and if you do have an instant pot, that is an extra cost if you don't have one. But if you already have one, that's not an extra cost. That's free. Just plug it in and start using it. I love using the instant pot. You can get it done in 3 to 4 hours, sterilizing stuff. 3 hours is fine. But nice thing about the instant pot is you do not have to babysit it. You just set it and forget it, and you walk away, let it cool off on its own. And when it's done cooling off, you seal the bag. It's so easy. And it makes me lazy. I feel guilty. I'm like, this shouldn't be this easy. It really shouldn't be. But a lot of people fight me on it because it doesn't reach to 15 PSI. It gets to like 12, 13. But I'm like, it doesn't matter. You just increase the time. And as long as you're increasing the time, you're going to kill everything in the bag. And you're looking to kill everything.
Your bags that you've been making so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had great results. Yeah, 100%. Even the ones that I haven't inoculated yet are still just ready to go, sitting there ready to go, man. Any day they can be great.
Yeah, those are done in my instant pot. Yep.
Yeah,
I love it.
I've had great results so far. No contams, not one.
Good.
But I'll let you know. I'll keep you in line, man.
For sure. Because if they contaminate before you do anything to them, that was my fault.
Right. Obviously, like you said, once you introduce something in there, but even the ones I've introduced stuff into, I haven't had no problems. So, if you guys have any more mycology questions, always ask.
It's like an air fryer, but it's under pressure and with water. The air fryer's dry. The air fryer's more like a mini oven. It's like a really, really intense mini oven. The air fryer probably wouldn't work. I don't know how to use an air fryer for this. Plus, the air fryer is just really, really small. The instant pot's pretty small already. It's nowhere near as much. The pro to having a pressure cooker is like it's a lot of space and you can cook a lot of stuff. But if you're just growing in your apartment, you don't need to do a lot of bags at once. Like I can cook like 5 bags or 5 jars at once, and I don't need that many. Yes, that's perfect. That's like just like mine.
That's an Instapot.
Yeah.
Mello wasn't familiar.
Okay, yeah. That's exactly it.
A crock pot, some people will call it.
Well, Uncle Ben's, if you don't want to even mess with the sterilizing your stuff, Uncle Ben's will work. Just make sure you really spray down the outside of that bag with 70% isopropyl inside of your still air box before you open it up, and spray down your scissors too. Those scissors are filthy. Every time you touch that bag, spray down everything before it goes inside that still air box and before you touch anything.
Spray your eyeballs. Spray inside your ear holes.
Wear a mask. Wear gloves.
Yeah.
Get them from Dollar Tree. It's no excuse. It's a cheap expense.
Cool, man.
Yeah, but we should be very clean all when we're doing this stuff. Like HB was just joking, but it wouldn't hurt to, if he wasn't sure, put on some fresh clothes or take a shower, because that would be that contamination you'll introduce. But yeah,
or maybe even a jumpsuit or something.
Put it down or moved it, before. So there's all those germs on there. So yeah, definitely cleanliness next to godliness.
Right, like it.
Mello's question is, can it explode too? The Instant Pot. Like, well, it has built-in mechanisms. It's like more like an autoclave where it has the settings. You push the buttons and say, I want to cook for this long, and it only starts timing once it gets up to pressure. And if it runs out of water, it shuts itself off. If the pressure gets out of hand, it literally shuts itself off if it runs out of water. It has really nice built-in safety mechanisms to where you really can just it's like an autoclave, but it doesn't get up to as high of a pressure. But yeah, or as many bags. But yeah. It's way safer than a pressure cooker or an autoclave because it's lower PSI and the built-in safety mechanisms. I can't stress those built-in safety mechanisms. Like, man, it does make you feel good about using an Instant Pot. Like, I'm here for the home mycologist.
That's what I was gonna say, man. Because as much as we love to give away to people, and as much as we have memberships where people can, get served sacraments, stuff like that, what we really want to do is be able to give people the ability to do it themselves. It's like give a man an apple, we feed him for a day. Give a man the tree, feed him for a lifetime. That kind of thing. Teach a man to fish.
What was that famous guy in that book you read, Derek? What did he say about fishing?
Make fishers of men. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the fishers of men. Or you teach a man. You give a man a fish. You feed him for a day. You teach a man to fish. You feed him for a lifetime.
Feed him for a lifetime, and his community too. Yeah, man. That's what makes the world go around. So that's what we love to try to do. So if you guys have any questions, reach out. That's why I love how David asks questions. We're going to get you that PDF, David. It'll be a whole list of the basic necessities that you need to get started. And then in most places, you can get spores or liquid cultures delivered to your door. And that's really the last puzzle piece that you need to be able to know your source of where your mushrooms came from and have the joy of doing it yourself. And obviously, growing mushrooms teaches you so much about respect and timing and patience and attention and cleanliness and everything. So, yeah.
Organization.
It's really cool. Be amazed. Oh, yeah. Be amazed.
Planning. So much. And then if you expand to field mycology, that's a whole nother whole different set of mental health and therapy of I'm getting outdoors and I'm exploring and I'm exercising and doing all these other things. I'm like, got to do it all, guys. Do it all. It's worth it. It's for your health.
I think that is a great way to wrap the episode up. We want you to meet us over. I'm going to drop the Discord link for you one more time. Meet us over on Discord for Harry and the Hendersons here in about 15 minutes, guys. Yeah. And if need anything, reach out, mysticjourneyschurch.org. What you got there, Derek?
Angels Desire. Angels and Demons is backwards for me.
Never seen this.
It was a great movie. I liked it. But
Stephen King, right?
Oops. So WWQ, but you get the idea. mysticjourneyschurch.org.
I'm going to look this up real fast. Got to find out.
Cheers. We appreciate all y'all, man. Remember to practice the agreements. Remember to be kind and get out in nature and remember the lesson we talked about today about taking feedback and criticism. Take it and try to see what you can do better yourself. Anything that happens to you, see where you can make yourself and what you're doing in your life a little bit better each time. And that's what friends and people are there to give us that feedback for.
Dan Brown. You're welcome, Dan Brown. That was a nice.
Ron Howard.
You're welcome, Dan Brown. That was
Shout out to Dan Brown.
shout out to Dan Brown.
Cool.
Angels
Cheers,
and
everybody.
demons.
Y'all have a
Good
great
job,
night.
buddy.
Remember tomorrow on Riffin, we pushed Soundgarden Audio Slave away for the recent passing of Oliver Tree. We're going to cover him. We'll cover Audio Slave and Soundgarden next week on next Thursday. We'll be doing Tool and Perfect Circle, Pucifer on Saturday. Make sure to be back Friday for our Five Agreement Friday. And we will see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.
Love y'all.
Thank you all for being here.